Right, so now we're starting the new section of Demon of the Week, and so we're going to have a look at the remainder of the Nine Demonic Divinities. Welcome to my channel. You are entering the world of magic and mysticism with your host, Lee W. Johnson. Keep the lights on and help improve the channel by becoming a supporter for just $2.99 per month. Hit the join button. Okay, so the Nine Demonic Divinities, well, the remainder of them, because as I said previously, we have spoken about Belial, Amdusius, Flerius. I think that was it. And I have spoken about Lucifer and Leviathan in other Monday Musings videos, but I wanted to just include those in here also, just some additional stuff. So, to begin with, we're going to have a look at Lucifer today, and then we'll go through the others in coming weeks. As I mentioned, I've spoken about Lucifer before. It was a Who is Lucifer video, which kind of takes the whole idea of Lucifer being a fallen angel, Christian fallen angel, in that light, and we just had a look at that and kind of dispelled it. But in regards to demonolatry, this gets a little bit difficult because, especially when it comes to Lucifer, there are so many different perspectives on who Lucifer is. We have Lucifer from a Christian worldview, which is very much assigned to being the same entity as Satan. And is this evil force, who an angel that fell from heaven and became the leader of hell. So that's all Christian worldview, and that's definitely not anything that I follow myself. But we have tales from all over the world. We can have a look at Charles Leland's Aradia, or Gospel of Witches, wherein it focuses a lot on Italian witchcraft. And Diana was lonely. Diana was the only entity in the entire cosmos, and she was lonely, and so she split herself into darkness and light, and this birthed Lucifer. So Lucifer became her son and then became her lover also. But she kept the darkness and gave the light to Lucifer, and they had a child named Aradia, who then brought witchcraft to humans and all such things. So that's one story. Then we have a Roman perspective, where Lucifer is the light of Venus, and we can get into Venus being the morning star and the evening star, and then we have to tie in Lucifer with the evening star as well, which is easier to go to Greek actually, because then we have Lucifer being Phosphorus or Eosphorus, and that's the morning star or the dawn, Dawnbringer or the Lightbringer, and then opposite to that, the brother of Phosphorus is then Hesperus, which is the evening star basically. But if we have a look at the Venus cycle, the morning star and the evening star, then that all comes into play, and there's a whole lot of stuff about Venus. Venus travels across the sky throughout the year and forms a pentagram and all such things. There's lots and lots of lore behind that, which is quite worth exploring if you want to go down that road. But when it comes to Lucifer, Lucifer is a title. It means Lightbringer. So what Lucifer means for you becomes very personal. And there are many, many, many Lucifers. There's not just one. I did see somebody argue recently that Lucifer, the morning star, is the archangel Javriel. and that's the only one. There are no other morning stars. There are no other bringers of light and things like that. And that's absolutely ridiculous, because practically every culture has one. But you know, we've also got to try and disassociate. This gets a bit difficult. Disassociate the idea of a Lightbringer from being a sun god. The two actually are very different. For instance, some will argue that Lu from the Celtic pantheon, I think it's Celts. Yeah, completely lost that one. That train of thought just went off the rails. But anyway, Lu. A lot of people will equate Lu as being a Lightbringer, as being a Lucifer. In some cases, sure, yes, but Lu is very much also a sun god, and that's very different to a Lightbringer. How you might ask, if we think of Lucifer as the light of Venus, it's not Venus itself, it is the light which is reflected off Venus, and that is the light, the bringer of the light. If we look at the sun, the body of the sun is one thing, but the light which reflects off the sun, comes off the sun, everything else reflects the sun. But the light that actually comes from the sun is different to the body of the sun. So in some regards we can say they're the same. In other regards, I think we need to kind of try and make a distinction sometimes. But again, it becomes personal. It becomes personal to you and how you view things. Let's have a look. So in demonolatry, modern demonolatry, traditional demonolatry, we find Lucifer in the position of the east as the elemental king of air. Now, this has a lot of significance, and not just as being the elemental king of air, but east. It's where the sun comes up. So as the sun rises in the morning, it starts to bring illumination, and it's this illumination, this idea of bringing light to yourself, to your path, which is very much what Lucifer actually signifies. So it is the Lightbringer, and that light is knowledge, or gnosis. And in traditional witchcraft, we talk about the horn god with the flame betwixt the horns, and the flame betwixt the horns are sometimes referred or considered to be the opposing forces, the masculine, the feminine, the black and the white, etc., etc. And the flame between them brings them into equilibrium or equanimity or balance, brings them together into union. So the flame between the horns is the knowledge, the gnosis, and this also illuminates your path. It's sometimes signified as an old man with a lantern, and it's the lantern which illuminates your path. And through illuminating your path, you know where to tread, you know where to go, you know where to move, and this knowledge allows you to move forward on your personal spiritual path. So really, when it comes to Lucifer, that I would consider is the main aspect of what Lucifer is. It is that bringer of knowledge. And where does that knowledge come from? It's the light, and the light shines brightest in the darkness. So we have had a lot of people say that Lucifer is the Prince of Darkness. And I think this does kind of start moving a bit backwards into the Christian worldview, considering the things like dark and darkness to be bad things, to be evil things, which is totally ridiculous. I mean, dark earth is very fertile earth, and that's where things come to life and grow, so it's definitely not evil. Darkness is a good thing. It's a necessary thing. But, this whole Prince of Darkness thing kind of came out of that as being this entity which is evil and bad and dark. But then it got taken by a lot of people and switched and changed. Prince of Darkness became the Lightbringer, because the light is the brightest in the dark. So, we have these adaptations of terminologies, which is a good thing, but you know, I prefer to stay away from the Christian worldview stuff. But really, it is about Lucifer being the Lightbringer, and as I said, there are many. My own personal interaction with Lucifer is different in different circumstances. For instance, my own personal interaction with Lucifer on a whole, my Lucifer, if I can call it that, is actually feminine. If I, however, interact with Lucifer from the perspective of the sacred magic of Abramelin, for instance, that is a very masculine Lucifer and quite a very dark figure as well. There are no horns, there is no flame between the horns. It's a very different figure to my feminine Lucifer, which has the flame between the horns. But still is a Lightbringer. So, depending on the situation, the type of interaction you're having, even your own interaction with Lucifer can be different in different circumstances. So don't get confused if you work with Lucifer for a while and then you switch or change gears and work with Lucifer again, but it's a completely different circumstance, different approach, and Lucifer's all of a sudden very different. Because there are many, many Lucifers. There are many, many Lightbringers. There's not just one Lightbringer. So bear that in mind when you're working with Lucifer. But as I said, from a demonolatry point of view, very much the elemental king of air, and within the East. Even there, in different traditions, you're going to change the elemental position in the cardinal directions. So in the East, in some instances, it's the element is fire, because the sun rises, and this is the fire is represented by the sun and things like that. So we can't even stick to that. Definitely there's no absolute truth here, and you have to discover all of these things for yourself. But like I said, when it comes to Lucifer, it is a very personal thing. There are many different Lightbringers. There is not just one, and therefore you need to discover your own Lightbringer, your own Lucifer, and that becomes a very important aspect of your own path. Okay, so no definite answers for you today. Sorry about that one, go and speak to Lucifer. Lucifer is the bringer of knowledge, and we all need knowledge. We all need to learn. Ways you can honor Lucifer is to actually study, to delve into those books and study it, but also get your nose out of the book and go and do the practices, go and experience, because experience is also knowledge. Another way to honor Lucifer is to ask questions. Go into your community, ask questions about magic, about spirituality, about Lucifer, about anything, and ask the questions so you can get the answers and you can grow. And this is all based on knowledge, and learning. So that's probably, I'd say, is the best way to honor Lucifer, is to study, to experience, and to ask questions. Okay, so I think that's it. I'm going to leave that there for today. You probably still kind of got a load of questions, and that's fine. Lucifer alone we could discuss for a lifetime and more. So ask any questions you need to, and we'll have a look at them. And anyway, cheers for now. Bye bye.